This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
Welcome back. It's now time for our entertainment segment, and this morning we're reviewing This Is 40.
And I'm excited because you've seen this movie.
Yes.
You actually saw it before I did, so we're actually going to get like Ella Soroka's input on a movie.
I loved it.
She loved it.
That's all I'm going to say.
She loved it, and that's all she wants to say.
No, well, we do agree that it does drag on a little.
It is. It's a bit stretched out for a movie nowadays. For a 2-hour and 20-minute movie, they could have cut it down to an hour and a half.
Right.
It's definitely not a movie for people who, those movies where people just constantly argue throughout it. It kind of gets old after about an hour and a half.
It does. And the funny thing that you say, for you saying that is there was a couple people in the movie theater that were getting annoyed at some of the scenes because all they were doing is either nitpicking at each other or fighting, and I think they were getting annoyed and they were yelling at the screen to stop.
Yeah, exactly. And let's talk about a few basic things. Acting was great. And what this is a continuation of other movies that have done, and it came out, it was Knocked Up, where these two characters were originally brought from, and they kind of went like, all right, these two characters were really popular in that movie. What happened if we just continued another movie following their life as their daughters got older? So I like the idea behind it. I always like when you can kind of go, all right, I see characters from a movie I've seen before that I liked. I like the whole premise behind the movie. I like the actors. You can't go wrong with the people that they pick for it. They're good actors. You see a lot of famous faces in it. It was good. You even see John Lithgow. When's the last time you seen John Lithgow? It was like Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
It was like the last time you really saw him.
Or Dexter.
Or Dexter. Okay. I don't watch Dexter, so I guess I'm the weird person. But, altogether, other than the big part was how stretched out it was.
Yeah.
Comedy was great.
It was funny. I don't recommend little kids going to it.
No, not a little kid movie.
No.
If you are, however, offended easily, this is not a movie for you. Who's going to like this movie are people that have been in relationships.
Yes.
If you have a really open relationship with your better half, just about the things you talk about, the things you discuss, your life in general, you're going to familiarize a great deal with this movie.
And that's what we were talking about yesterday, is that there are so many scenes in the movie where you're like, oh, I did that with Jill, or I remember doing that with Matt. Or, it's you kind of compare your life with it. Obviously, we're not in our 40s, but at the same time, the things they do, you see yourself doing in your relationship too.
Yeah. So altogether, I liked it. There's a few things at the end I just felt they didn't really finish. The storyline kind of stops, and I'm not a big fan of movies that build up all these things, intricate side plots and everything, and at the end of it, you're just left to guess. I'm not a fan of that, especially in a movie like this. You should not leave your viewers out on a limb to just guess how the ending happens.
Or maybe,
if you're in a science fiction movie and you want to build a sequel out of it, or a trilogy out of it, then you can kind of do that. But with a movie like this that talks about a family, you really can't.
See, I disagree, because now you can think of however you want it to end. Obviously, we talked about it.
Then what's the point of the movie?
It's your own interpretation.
That's just a cheap out in movies.
No, what if they're setting up for another movie to
If
go
they
with
make
it?
another movie out of this, I'm going to be highly upset.
So, all right, well, out of 5 stars, what do you give it?
I'm going to give it 3. I'm going to give it 3 just based on the comedy, nothing more than that, because of the lengthiness and the terrible plot line at the end.
I'm going to give it a 4. Yes, I am giving it a 4. I'm giving my opinion on this since I've watched it.
No, that's all right. It's a terrible one, but it's an opinion.
And that's why you're the expert.
Hey, that's why I'm here.
We'll be right back.